Welcome to the Psychology of Gambling, the podcast for Mind Over Odds, where we believe if you control your emotions, you control your outcomes. So have you ever walked into a building or maybe just opened an app on your phone thinking you're just going to kill 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Right. And then you look up and somehow 3 entire hours have completely vanished, along with, maybe your money or your focus is just totally gone.
Yeah, you get that sudden sinking feeling of just a complete loss of control.
Exactly. And you're left wondering, how on earth did that happen to me? Well, if you felt that, you were definitely not alone. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the architecture of addiction. We're getting into the secret science of what they call the machine zone.
It's such a fascinating topic because we've pulled together all these different sources, everything from like historical casino blueprints to modern behavioral psychology.
Yeah, and the mission today is really simple. We want to help you recognize the hidden design tricks that are, quite frankly, engineered to manipulate your decisions. Because when you lose track of time or spend more than you wanted, it's not a lack of willpower.
No, not at all. It's actually a matter of biological hacking.
Mm.
You're navigating these physical spaces and digital systems that are deliberately engineered by psychologists to hijack your nervous system.
Right. We tend to blame ourselves, right? Like, oh, I just need more discipline.
Exactly. But the reality is the human brain just did not evolve to defend itself against the stimuli we're going to talk about today.
So I want to break down exactly how they do that, step by step. And it seems like a logical place to start is the actual physical environment. Before you even touch a screen, the room you walk into is already going to work on your emotional state.
Absolutely. The physical space is like the crucial first step. If we look back at the old design blueprints from the 70s and 80s, the dominant philosophy was this thing called the maze model.
The maze model. Okay.
Yeah, it was codified by this executive named Bill Friedman. And the entire objective of the maze was intentional disorientation.
Which sounds totally counterintuitive. I mean, why would a business want to disorient its customers?
Well, the theory at the time was that if people were aware of their surroundings, they would, remember they had somewhere else to be.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they designed these spaces with incredibly low ceilings, resting just barely above the machines to make you feel really boxed in.
Right.
And the floor plans were segmented into these narrow, twisting corridors. You literally couldn't see more than a few yards ahead.
And of course, no clocks or windows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An absolute ban on temporal cues. No clocks, no sunlight.
Okay, I'm picturing this, and it sounds incredibly stressful. It sounds like being stuck in a crowded, chaotic airport terminal during a weather delay or something.
That is a brilliant analogy.
Because when I'm in that kind of environment, my anxiety gets so high that the only way to escape it is to pull out my phone and just stare at a screen to tune the world out.
And that perfectly illustrates why the maze model actually worked for a while. You feel trapped and overwhelmed by the winding paths and the loud carpets, so you seek visual refuge in this screen right in front of you.
But I'm guessing that backfires eventually, because airport anxiety just makes you want to leave the airport?
Precisely. Eventually, the industry realized there's a massive ceiling to that strategy. So a designer came along and flipped the entire thing on its head.
Okay, what did he do?
He realized the maze was creating too much spatial anxiety. People actually do not make large wagers or take big risks when they feel claustrophobic or threatened.
That makes sense.
So he introduced the playground model. If you walk into a modern mega resort today, like the Bellagio in Vegas, you are seeing the playground in action.
Right, the soaring ceilings, massive skylights, natural sunshine everywhere.
Yeah, beautiful floral arrangements, pleasant scents pumped right into the air conditioning.
It feels luxurious, but I have to push back here for a second. If the goal is to get me hyper-focused on spending money at a machine, doesn't making the room beautiful just distract me? Like, why spend millions on a nice view?
Well, psychologists call this the playground persistence paradox.
The playground persistence paradox. Okay, explain that.
By making the environment luxurious and relaxing, they're providing cognitive restoration. It actually lowers your heart rate and your cortisol levels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when your spatial anxiety drops, you completely drop your emotional guard. You feel safe.
So the comfort is actually a weapon.
It's the ultimate weapon. Instead of fleeing a stressful labyrinth after 45 minutes, you feel so pampered that you stay for 4 hours.
Wow.
And the data is crystal clear on this. Because you stay longer in a relaxed state, your risk aversion plummets, and you ultimately spend significantly more money.
That is just fascinating. So the room lulls you into this false sense of security,
Exactly.
but a beautiful room alone doesn't drain your bank account. You have to actually engage with the machines, and this is where I've always been a little confused.
How so?
If you have thousands of machines on a floor, all ringing, dinging, and playing alarms, why doesn't that immediately give everyone a massive migraine?
Right. Well, that brings us to psychoacoustics. The machines are actively lying to your senses.
Lying how?
The reason the floor doesn't sound like a chaotic construction site is because audio engineers carefully tune the background hum and the melodies of the games to the exact same musical key.
Wait, really? Like, they harmonize the whole room?
Yes. Specifically, they use the key of C major.
Like on a piano, but why C major?
Because in Western music, C major is biologically and culturally associated with happiness, resolution, and success. It's a very pleasant key.
Yeah.
By tuning all these disparate games to a uniform major key, they create a happy, harmonious background drone. It completely neutralizes auditory fatigue.
So your brain just accepts it as ambient noise instead of stressful alarms.
Exactly. And it goes even deeper into your biology.
Yeah.
As you play, the musical tempos of the game will actually speed up. Yeah. Through a process called auditory entrainment, your heart rate will subconsciously accelerate to match the tempo of the music.
They are actively driving up your physical arousal using sound. That's wild.
It is. But the most devious trick they play, combining audio and math, is something called losses, disguised as wins, or LDWs.
Okay, let's unpack that, because losses disguised as wins sounds like a total contradiction. How do you mathematically disguise a loss?
Well, let's use a very standard scenario. Say you're playing a modern video machine. You bet 5 credits on 15 different lines, making your total wager $3.75 for one single spin.
Okay, $3.75.
You hit the button, the reels stop, and you quote-unquote win $1.25 on one of those random lines.
Wait, I bet $3.75. The machine gave me back $1.25. I mean, mathematically, my bank account is down $2.50. I lost.
Your rational brain knows you lost, but the machine does not behave like you lost.
What does it do?
Instead of going completely silent, which is what older machines did when you lost, this modern machine flashes vibrant lights. It plays an upbeat, ascending C major melody, and the screen dramatically counts up your $1.25 in credits, like you just hit a jackpot.
So it's essentially throwing a party for a loss.
Exactly.
That is like buying a $5 cup of coffee, finding a crumpled $1 bill at the bottom of the cup, and the barista throws a handful of confetti in your face to celebrate. I'm still down $4.
That is the perfect way to look at it. It's pure camouflage. But here is the terrifying part about how effective that confetti is on your biology.
Okay.
Experts have monitored players, tracking their skin conductance, which measures how much your palms sweat from emotional arousal.
Let me guess. The body falls for the trick.
Hook, line, and sinker. When you experience one of these disguised losses, your physiological response is identical to a genuine win.
You're kidding?
No, you get the exact same biological surge of adrenaline and dopamine. It creates this severe cognitive dissonance. Your logical brain sees the balance dropping, but your body is physically celebrating a victory.
Wow. That has to be exhausting for the nervous system to process.
It's deeply exhausting.
Yeah.
And the only way the brain knows how to resolve that uncomfortable tension is to seek immediate distraction.
Which means hitting the button to spin again.
As fast as possible.
Which accelerates the whole cycle. And I know from our deep dive today that this constant sensory trickery pushes the brain into a trance-like state, right? The machine zone.
Yes. The machine zone is the ultimate goal of all this architecture. When you enter this state, the outside world completely dissolves. Your sense of time, spatial awareness, worries about your job, even your sense of self just vanishes.
And to make it easier to slip into that zone, they've systematically removed every single point of physical friction.
Oh, completely.
Because in the old days, you had to stand there, pull a heavy metal lever, and drop actual coins into a slot. That took effort. It created a natural pause where your brain could reflect and ask, do I really want to keep doing this?
Those natural pauses are the enemy of the machine zone. Today, the heavy levers are gone. They're replaced by hypersensitive buttons where you can execute like 1,200 wagers an hour with just a twitch of your finger.
And physical cash is just digital credits now.
Exactly. It completely neutralizes the natural psychological pain of handing over real money.
Because it just feels like meaningless points in a video game.
Right.
You know, given the intensity of what we're talking about and how these environments totally bypass human rationale, I want to take a brief second to mention something very important. If you or someone you know struggles with compulsive or problem gambling, free help is available 24 hours a day by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
That is such a crucial resource. Because once someone is in the machine zone, the rules of normal behavior just do not apply. In fact, one of the most surprising things experts have found is that once you are in the zone, the actual goal isn't even winning money anymore.
I found that part genuinely shocking. If the goal isn't to win the jackpot, what is the point?
The objective is simply maintaining the rhythm, staying in the flow. For someone deeply immersed in the machine zone, a large jackpot win is actually experienced as an annoying interruption.
Because the machine locks up, stops the game, and forces you to wait while it plays a long animation to count out the credits.
Exactly. It breaks the trance. The player just wants the machine to unlock so they can get back to pressing the button. The rhythm itself becomes the reward.
Wow.
And the primary engine driving that rhythm is a psychological hook known as the near miss.
The near miss, like when you get 2 out of 3 matching symbols and the third one stops just like 1 inch past the pay line.
Yes. And to understand why this is so powerful, we have to look at our biology again. Our brains evolved a dopamine system designed to help us learn skills. Dopamine isn't actually a pleasure chemical, like many people think. It's a seeking chemical.
Okay, a seeking chemical. What does that mean?
It motivates us to pursue things. So if you're learning to throw a spear at a target and you miss by an inch, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine to say, hey, you're close. Adjust your aim and try again.
Got it. So in a game of skill, a near miss provides valuable feedback. It means you are getting better.
Precisely. But these machines are completely random. A near miss on a digital screen has zero predictive value. Mathematically, a miss by an inch is exactly the same as a miss by a mile.
But our ancient biology doesn't know that.
It doesn't. Your brain's reward circuitry fires just as aggressively as if you had actually won, rewarding you for almost getting it.
It tricks you into feeling a false illusion of control.
Exactly. You feel like you're mastering the machine, so you keep playing. And the truly alarming part is that the machines are monitoring this biological reaction in real time.
You mean through player tracking systems?
Oh, far beyond standard loyalty cards. The modern systems rely on real-time big data. Every single tap of the button, the millisecond delay between your spins, it's all captured. They know your precise playing rhythm.
Let me guess. If their computers sense my rhythm slowing down.
If the system calculates that your engagement is dropping and you're at a high risk of leaving, it will automatically intervene.
How?
It can instantly trigger a personalized promotion, like a free digital bonus, or sending someone over with a complimentary drink directly to your machine. It intercepts your decision to leave before your conscious brain is even fully committed to it.
They are literally managing your biology in real time. Now, this is all incredibly fascinating, but I can hear the listener right now saying, look, I don't go to casinos, I don't play the slots, so if I stay out of those buildings, I'm perfectly safe.
I really wish we could say that was true. But the reality is, this exact architecture has been copied, pasted, and scaled globally. These systems are sitting in your pocket right now.
You're talking about our smartphones and social media apps?
Yes. The parallels are not accidental. Think about the physical gesture of the pull-to-refresh swipe on your social media feed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Technology ethicists point out that this is a direct digital translation of pulling a slot machine lever.
You pull down, there's that brief forced delay, that little spinning wheel animation that builds the anticipation, and then boom, the screen populates.
And what it populates with is a completely randomized, unpredictable reward. Sometimes you get a highly engaging photo from a friend. Other times it's just boring ads or depressing news.
Which is what psychologists call a variable ratio schedule. It's the exact same reason a dog will beg at the dinner table if you only feed it every once in a while. The unpredictability makes the habit incredibly sticky.
Absolutely. If social media was predictable, it would be boring. And then you combine that unpredictability with infinite scrolling. Infinite scrolling is the digital equivalent of removing the clocks and windows from a physical room.
I love that comparison because, if you read a physical book, you reach the end of a chapter. That's a natural stopping point. If you read an old school web page, you hit the bottom footer.
Right.
Those physical boundaries force a moment of reflection where you have to consciously ask yourself, do I want to turn the page or do I want to go to sleep?
But infinite scrolling aggressively erases those boundaries.
Yeah.
It dissolves your temporal awareness, dropping you straight into a digital machine zone where you just endlessly consume information.
There's never a prompt to stop, so you just keep going until physical exhaustion takes over.
Exactly. And we are seeing these exact same mechanics deployed in video games too,
Mhm.
particularly ones marketed to kids.
Oh, like loot boxes.
Yes, you pay real money for a virtual mystery box. When you open it, the screen shakes with flashing lights. It plays a triumphant C major slot machine chord, and it delivers a randomized virtual item.
It operates on the exact same dopamine pathways.
It really does. Experts see that engaging with loot boxes acts as a psychological gateway, making young adults significantly more likely to transition to real-life gambling later on, just because their brains have been primed for that specific reward loop.
So, whether we are talking about a physical casino floor, the endless feed on our phones, or video games, we are effectively swimming in systems designed to hack our evolutionary biology. That is a heavy realization.
Is
So, as we bring this home, what is the actionable advice here? How do we actually build emotional control against tech companies and casinos that are engineering our downfall?
Well, the very first and most crucial step is accepting a hard truth. Soft limits absolutely fail.
By soft limits, you mean telling yourself, I'm only going to scroll for 5 minutes before bed.
Yes. Or setting a gentle little pop-up reminder on your screen that says, you've been playing for an hour.
Hmm.
Behavioral studies show those are practically useless.
Why is that?
Because, like we discussed, personal willpower and logical reasoning are completely offline once you're deeply immersed in the machine zone. The executive functioning part of your brain is suppressed. You cannot rely on willpower in an environment specifically designed to bypass it.
Okay, if willpower is a myth here, what actually works?
Hard structural boundaries.
Yeah.
In the clinical world of gambling addiction, the most effective tool by far is voluntary self-exclusion.
So you legally and physically ban yourself from entering the premises for like 90 days.
Exactly. You remove the decision entirely. In your daily digital life, you have to create equivalent physical boundaries.
Which means not keeping the trigger within arm's reach.
Yes, it means literally leaving your phone charging in another room when you need to focus or sleep. It means installing strict, unoverridable digital blockers on your devices. You have to restructure your physical environment to protect yourself from the digital environment.
You change the architecture of your own life to counter their architecture.
That's exactly it.
That makes perfect sense. You have to fight structure with structure. And I think what really stands out today and what I want to leave everyone with is a thought about where this is heading next.
Oh, definitely.
We've gone from physical mazes to smartphones. But with the rise of spatial computing and virtual reality headsets, we're moving toward a future where the digital and physical environments are completely merged. Imagine a virtual space that doesn't just track your screen taps, but reads your pupil dilation and your heart rate in real time. Right. Instantly shifting the colors, the music, and the architecture of the digital room to perfectly optimize your personal machine zone. That is the next frontier. But the defense remains the same. Once you understand the science of how these spaces are built, the spell is broken. You are no longer a passive participant. You can see the strings pulling your attention, and you have the power to cut them. If you found this conversation helpful today, please follow and like the show or leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people in our community find these resources. You can also visit the Mind Over Odds YouTube channel for more psychology-based insights on gambling behavior. We'll talk to you next time. Control your emotions. Control your outcomes.